Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So again, I want to thank you all for joining me on tonight. Tonight is our first L Talk Media Facebook Live show. And L Talk represents leadership talk. That's what the L stands for. And this is the forum that we're using to discuss and talk about leadership topics. All of us are leaders. You know, I tell people that everywhere I go, everyone is a leader. However, one of the things is that there are different types of leaders. And one is a leader that is a supervisor over people, lead people. Or you can just be a leader where no matter what you do, and on a solo mission or a team mission, people are looking to you for answers and for direction. Not that they directly report to you or answer to you, but they respect your position. They respect the things that you're doing. So there's a possibility that, again, you can be a leader that actually doesn't have a team that's following after you, but you could be someone that motivates others to step out and step into their own leadership role. So I'm so excited to have this call placed on my life in order to work with leaders, because in this day and age, when I tell you right now, there's nothing more important than us learning to lead well. There's nothing more important than that, than us learning to lead well. And the saddest part is that when we look at our POTUS and how he's leading and so forth, if anything, we just need to take note of everything that we should not be doing. We need to take note as to the slippery slope that our nation is on. And I'm telling you, the scriptures say, when the Lord said, if my people who are called by my name, if they would just humble themselves and pray, and seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, it was then he will hear from heaven and he will heal our land. When we have that type of scripture, the Lord is telling us as leaders, as his people, we need to start praying about what we're seeing every day. We just cannot ignore what is happening to our nation. We are a powerful nation, and there's no way that we should be in a position, there's no reason for us to be in the position that we're in right now. So anyway, again, I just want to thank you again for joining me for this first show. How we've set it up is right now, this is the fourth Monday of January, and our normal schedule is the second and fourth Monday of each month. Sometimes I'll be solo, sometimes I'll be teamed up with different individuals. So I've been reaching out to individuals. Individuals have been reaching out to me. Actually, today I did a couple of interviews with individuals who are interested in joining me on this show to talk about leadership. So I'm excited to connect with new people. So I'm really grateful for that this is definitely something that is needed and it's needful. And so on today, we're going to talk about 10 things every new leader should know in order to elevate their leadership impact. Now, I'm sure if you're a new leader, hit a button, wave your hand or do something. Let me know if you're a new leader. If you just started a new business, if you decided to just heed to that call that's on your life to step into a leadership role or start your new business or whatever, if that's something that you have done, then, let me know that that's you. Because I'm telling you right now, there are some pitfalls and protocols that we have to be concerned about when we are stepping into a leadership role. There are pitfalls and protocols, and we're going to talk about some of those things on today. And then at the end of the show, we will, if you have posted any questions, I'll try to, scroll back through to see if I can locate those questions and so forth, so we can start talking about, and I can offer some answers to the questions that you have. So again, this is interactive, guys. I want you all to join me. I'm trying not to be so rigid with this, right? Because I want us to talk about this. I want us to engage. Hopefully you won't hear any pots clinging, because my daughter is in there fixing herself something to eat. But again, this is all about you on today. It's all about leaders. So again, let's get right into what we're talking about today. So on today, we're talking about the 10 things every new leader needs to know in order to elevate their leadership impact. Number one, learn as much as you can, as much as possible about yourself. That's number one. When you're thinking about stepping into a leadership role, and if you're already in a leadership role, it is your primary responsibility to know you above anything else. You have to know everything about yourself. You have to know what your biases are. You have to know your likes and your dislikes. You have to know your personality type. How many of you know your love language? You know, all of these things come into play when you are in a leadership role. And another thing which is key, and my friend Nicole Evans, she's been talking about this, is your emotional intelligence. Are you in control of your emotions? Do you know how to help others control their emotions? Yes, know yourself and seek self-improvement. That's number one. When we're talking about emotional intelligence, there are like 5 components to that. One is self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and I think the other one is skill. 5 areas there that we have to pay attention to. We walk into positions thinking that everything is ready to go for us. But you have to understand that people are looking at you and they have expectations. And when they have these expectations, it's critical for you to know who you are, because I'm telling you, when people have expectations, they will thrust that on you, and then you're trying to live up to their expectations, and you honestly can't do it. You can't do it because you're not, because the thing is that you have to know who you are before you can, so you can let people know, you know what? Those expectations, or that what you're saying about me, or that what you think I am, that doesn't work. Okay, because that's not who I am. We have to do the work in the beginning to know who we are, as much about ourselves as we possibly can. And here's an example of that. I work with a team of 3. And one of the things about us is we're very different. I mean, we're different individuals. We don't process alike. We do monitoring differently. We're okay, but we are an awesome team. We work so well together. So we took an emotional intelligence class, and, you know, it was a test, an assessment to find out whether we were introverts, whether we were thinkers, and all that different stuff. So again, it was a team of 3. I was an introvert off the chart. I mean, I scored off the chart. Then my other coworker, she was an extrovert feeler off the chart. Now I'm an introvert thinker. She was an extrovert feeler off the chart. And then we had the other coworker who was smack dab in the middle. He scored straight down the middle. Now, I was sitting there like, how in the world can you possibly score down the middle? You have to be one side or the other, but he was right down the middle. And we knew that about each other, which was the funny part. Like, I'm always thinking and processing constantly. You have her over here, she's feeling and she's emotional and so forth. I love her to death. That's how she is. But it's not for me to tell her that's not how she should be, but that's her personality. And she's outgoing. When I need to go somewhere, she's my push. Get out there, Tessie. Push, go, do. So it's really funny that when we had the scores, we were like laughing at each other because it was hilarious. Then we looked at him and we were like, hey, guy, how did you score down the middle? Because then we thought about it. He'll swing my way sometimes. He'll swing her way sometimes. But he keeps a very calm position about it. So he's never one-sided. He's never the other side. It just depends on how he swings on that day. And so, you know, again, these are things that we have to know about ourselves. And when you're working with a team, and this is a team that always wants to go to happy hour in the evening and all that stuff, you need to let them know, like, no, that's not me. That's not something I do. I don't go to happy hour. I don't hang out. I don't like to hang out. I'm kind of a homebody, you know, because you may draw your energy from a smaller group, which makes you an introvert, you know, and so forth. And yes, Nicole, our team was very balanced, very balanced. I mean, we work well together. The work that we do is huge. huge, and we do it over a 9-month period, and we have to be that way. We had to have that balance in order to make this team work. And again, it started with us understanding our emotional intelligence, how we respond to things, how we do. So that's number one. Learn as much about yourself as you possibly can. New leaders, if you're already in a leadership role, if you just started your own business, learn as much as you can about yourself so that others will not define you according to their own expectations. You will be defined according to what you know about yourself. So that's number one. Number two is define leadership. Define leadership in your own words. What does leadership mean to you? That is critical. When you know what leadership means to you, because like leadership to me is relational. Leadership to me is service. Leadership to me is not cracking the whip and making people do this and dictating to people. That is not leadership to me. Leadership is service. Leadership is relational. You have to define leadership for yourself. And then once you define leadership for yourself, you now have to go to your team. You have to go to your clients. You have to go to your coworkers, even your supervisor. And you have to say, hey, tell me, what does leadership look like to you? Define leadership for me. Tell me, what does leadership look like to you? Because I'm telling you, some people have it totally construed as far as what leadership is and what it looks like. And here's an example of that. I was speaking to a friend about a relationship, and I know that you all have heard the term the man of the house. The man of the house. Now, when I was raised, the way I was raised, the man of the house, he did everything. He brought home the bacon, and mama was the one who fried it up and all that stuff. He worked hard. He took care of the family. He was supportive. He was all of that stuff. But again, some men have a total different view of what being the man of the house is. They have a totally different view of what it means. This individual really felt that being the man of the house meant that no one had an opinion. No one had an opinion outside of his. You didn't think for yourself. You didn't correct him. You did not provide any constructive criticism. Anything outside of him, he did not agree with. And he kept saying, I am the man of the house. And so I had to say to this person, well, what does that mean to him, and what does that mean to you? Because obviously that's a breakdown in communication. So we have to understand, getting back to leadership, define what leadership means to you. New leaders, new business owners, find out what leadership means to you. And when you find that out, then you take that definition, because you've defined it. This is what leadership looks like. These are the expectations that I have on leadership. You take that information, and then you go to your team, go to your clients, go to your supervisor, and you ask them, tell me, what does leadership look like? What does it look like to you? And find out what they're saying. See what it is that they're saying. And then if you need to make some adjustments, then make those adjustments. If they need to make some adjustments, allow them to make those adjustments. But you have to make sure that you all are on the same page, or there's some type of middle ground here. Because again, a lot of people believe that you are supposed to just be this know-it-all. And I told you, we are not the end all to everything. When I was doing the 21-day detox for leadership, we're not the end all to everything. No, we're not. And you have some people who are waiting for you to answer all their problems, to be the answer to all their problems. And that's not what you're called to do. No, it's not. So again, define leadership and find out those individuals that's in your circle. Find out what their definition of leadership is, and see what kind of middle ground you all can come to, because you don't want to get caught up into their expectations and it begin to drain you because you can't live up to it. And then number 3, spend some quality time with the individuals who answer to you. I was running a program, and it was by far the toughest job I ever had in my life. I can't even explain it to you all at this point. All I know, it was just the hardest job I ever dealt with, and so forth. So And working this job, one of the things that I implemented immediately was I had about 12 individuals that were my direct report. I had about 60 staff total, but I had about 12 individuals that were my direct report, and these were my department heads. And the funny part about that is we did a 360 evaluation. I brought in a 360 evaluation, and that's when everybody evaluates you. It's just a 360. You're even evaluating yourself and so forth. And all of my direct reports, they all felt that I ignored them. They felt that I didn't spend time with them. All of this stuff. And I was like, wait, hey guys, y'all directors. You're directors. Why do I have to spend so much time with directors? I can't, I don't understand it. So they went on and you know, this was in writing, so I couldn't, you know, dispute it because this is what they were feeling. So what I decided to do was set aside a time for my direct reports. And one day a week, for 30 minutes that day, they had my undivided attention. Now, I only could allow 30 minutes because this was a fast-paced job. We had something going on every minute of the day. So what I did was I said, okay, you know, I'll set aside 30 minutes in order to meet with you. Now, guess what, guys? Some of my direct reports, they said, I don't have time for that. I got work to do. So I don't have time. But guess what? I still set that time for them. So, Mr. So-and-so, your time is 8 a.m. to 8:30. If you decide that you want to meet with me from 8 to 8:30, that is your time. I will not put anything on my schedule. That's your time. Guess what? Mr. So-and-so would never come. All of a sudden, he decided he wants to show up to test me out, to see if that really was his time. And it was. Nothing on my schedule whatsoever. But I had to do the work to get my schedule to that point to accommodate them. The next round of evaluations, everything changed. They felt like I was hearing them. They felt like I was communicating well with them. They were all in as far as us working together as a team. Why? Because I spent time with them. So I want to encourage you that if you have individuals that are looking to you for answers and for direction, spend some time with them. Don't just get to a point where you just feel like come to work, snap my finger, everything should happen, everything should be ready to go. No. You got to spend some time. You remember I said earlier, leadership is relational. So you have to spend some time with individuals to make sure that they know that they matter and that you're there for them. And then, so that's number 3. So number 4 is lead by walking. As the introvert that I am, I was the type of person that, you know, didn't make too much eye contact. I just wanted to do my job. I just wanted to keep moving, keep going, and so forth. But then I realized that I had a supervisor who did the same thing, would spend most of him or her time in the office and so forth. Only came out the office when she overheard coworkers talking or communicating or so forth. And she or he'll come dashing out and they'll, you know, oh, hey, what's going on? What's this? What's that? They felt left out. So I was thinking to myself, like, wait, this is too much. You know, they felt left out. They felt that, you know, others weren't connecting to them. And so it was just hilarious, right? So I was like, wow, that's really not the type of leader that I want to be. So I had to push myself to get out there and start walking around and interacting with my team members. So what I would do is, if I had this door that I normally entered in, I would go a different way so I can see the individuals that are out there doing the work. Because remember, they're the ones making it happen for you. They're showing up every day. You're grateful that they're doing that. And so I would watch them, and I was like, okay, hey, make contact or leave something on their desk, you know, to say good morning, or let them know that the meeting is going to be short tomorrow, or just anything. It didn't matter. I was interacting with them. I led by walking. Now I understand. You worked hard for that corner office. You worked hard for that window, and you want to spend some time there, fine, but don't isolate yourself away from your team. Get up, walk around, Get to know the individuals that are out there. As a matter of fact, get to know the ones that can help you answer some of your team members and your clients and your coworkers, that answer some of their problems. We have to learn to get up and walk around and connect with different people, because we tend to think that, like I said, we're not the end all to everything, but we want to get in a position where we are listening to connecting to everyone that we possibly can that's out there. So I want to encourage you again, lead by walking around, making an effort to touch every person that's looking to you. Even if you're running your own business, you have your clients, you cannot leave one client out because maybe that client is only paying you $500 a month and this one over here is paying you $1,000. So you think, hey, I got to give the $1,000 so much. If you have your business plan and everything is laid out and you know what to expect, you give everyone equal quality time. Everybody get a Christmas card, okay? Everybody, not just one paying $20 a month. Everybody, the one that's paying $200 a month, and then you have this one paying $20. Well, they're not going to get a card. And I know you all don't think that way, but I'm just using that as an example. Get up, walk around, communicate, connect with your people. That's key. So we already talked about that we need to learn as much as we can about ourselves. We need to learn to define leadership. We need to spend quality time with our clients, with our workers, with everyone that we're connecting to in our immediate circle and abroad. We need to spend quality time with them. We need to lead by walking. And then we also, number 5 is that we need to lead by example. Now, here's the thing that I want to say about leading by example, which is critical. When we say lead by example, the first thing comes to mind is work. Work. Show them how hard you work. That's what we think. Look, I work all day, so they should be working all day and so forth. We're thinking that's leading by example. No, that's not what I'm talking about when it comes to leadership. Guess what we need to learn to do? Not only just lead by example by showing them our commitment to our job, the work that we're doing. We need to lead in a position where we are showing them how to listen. We want to show them how to have humility. We want to show them how quickly we are to admit our wrongs, admit things that we may have done that we shouldn't have, or what we need to correct. We need to get to a point that we teach people other things than work. We need to lead by example. And here's an example. If you say, okay, I'm a supervisor, but yet I have a supervisor, okay? That means the individuals under me, they're looking to me before they can get to my supervisor. If I'm constantly ignoring everything my supervisor is saying to me, and I'm constantly rolling my eyes every time she comes to me to say something, what do you think the people who answer to me, what message do you think I'm sending to them? I mean, think about it. I'm teaching them not to listen. It don't matter what your supervisor say. It doesn't matter what your boss says. That's what I'm teaching them. So we have to get to a point where we understand that they're watching everything we're doing. Here's the thing, guys. Get over that you're not being watched. If you are a leader, if you're running a business, if you're in a leadership role on your job, if people have entrusted you with something, you're being watched. You're being watched even when you don't think you're being watched. The funny part, the CEO of my company where I work, he's friends with me on LinkedIn and we're connection there. And he watches a lot of the stuff that I do. And he'll come to me and he'll ask me about it. I'm like, okay. But I already knew that they supported what I do out in the community with my business and so forth. But just the point that he's watching, he sees my stuff that I'm posting. He sees the things that I'm doing. So never get in a position that you think people aren't watching, because they are. They are. And here's the thing. LinkedIn keeps record when we post, right? You can go, everybody can see your posts that you put up. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, They have a record of everything that you're doing. So again, people don't have to see you actually do it then. They can go back and search through your stuff later. So understand that we leave a record everywhere we go and with everything that we do. That is vitally important, that we understand that we just have to get to a point that we lead by example. We have to learn to lead by example, and that not just with work, but in getting people to have a level of humility, be quick to address any problems that they have, and teach them to listen and to communicate well. And then number 6, know your limits and boundaries and communicate them clearly. Here's the thing, guys. Don't wait until somebody step on your toes before you say something about it. Set your boundaries. Set your limits, leaders, early on. Let them know if you have an issue with punctuality, if you want your team to be on time because somebody has to be there to open that door at 8 a.m., then you let them know that that is a zone that I will not break. That is that I have no tolerance there. 8 a.m. that door should be open. So it don't wait until you start showing up at 8:15 and you see the door is still closed and now you want to go all off that nobody is at work on time. You want to make sure that your boundaries and your limits are so clear when you're first speaking with them, when you first communicate with your team, with your coworkers, with your supervisor, whatever. You want to make sure your boundaries and expectations are clear and you are able to communicate that clearly. Here's the thing. We compromise based on who we like, which is sad. But we do it. Everybody does it. Oh, I'm going to give her a discount because she always helps me out. But yet, then you turn around and you won't give somebody else a discount because they don't always help you out. Well, again, you have to understand that if you're running a business, it's not so much as you're giving them discount. The thing is that it's valued at this, but I'm going to give it to you at that. You know what I'm saying? You want to make it where it's a business deal. Case in point, if I go to, let's say, where would I shop? Ross. Okay. So if I go to Ross, right, and a friend of mine, I'll just say my friend Dahlia, she goes to Ross as well. Now I walk in there and instantly I am smiling and I'm cheesing and I'm saying hi to everybody in there. Hey, hi. And I'm passing out candy to everyone. Dahlia picks up a dress. Tessie picks up a dress. $19.99. That's how much that dress is. Dahlia didn't speak to anybody. She didn't give anybody anything. She didn't do anything with those people. So all of a sudden, we get to the register. Her dress rings up what? $19.99. Mine rings up what? $19.99. Now, do you all think that if I say, hey, guys, I was so nice to you all. I gave you all everything. I gave you candy. I was smiling and cheesing. I was giving out hugs. Why is my dress $19.99? Ma'am, this is a business. That's exactly what they would say to me. This is a business, and we have to get to the point that we run it like a business. And here's the other reason why. Because when you start giving out all those deals, people expect for you to keep those deals going. They expect for you to keep it going. You might say, oh, no, I can't give a deal now. Well, you gave it last week. No, just let them know, this is a one-time deal or whatever. Be clear about your boundaries. Be clear about your expectations. Be clear about your standards, because if you don't, I'm telling you, people will try to take advantage of it. And again, I can't fault them. We did it. When we don't communicate effectively, it's us who did it. But guess what, guys? There's every day that you wake up, every day, you have an opportunity to fix it. You have an opportunity to make it right. So again, please make sure that your expectations and your standards and boundaries are clear. They're clear. Don't assume that people will get it. They honestly don't, because you can't fault anyone for yourself, but yourself. You have to be clear. You have to be clear on that. And then here's number 7, guys. Avoid common leadership pitfalls. And here's one of the things that I stepped into this role myself, my first time becoming a leader. And gosh, I tell you, I remember it like it was yesterday. And a lot of the workers were older than me. They had a lot of experience, more experience than I did. I was always a leader from way back. I could always remember being thrust into a leadership role, but this was my first official leadership role. And one of the pitfalls that I fell into when I became a supervisor was I didn't want to hold my staff accountable. I wanted them to know that I was there for them 100%. I was going to fight for them. I was going to do this. Now, mind you, if they weren't doing what they were supposed to, that didn't matter. I needed them to really like me. I needed them to line up with me. And I had this warped view of what leadership was. And this is how I really got into learning about leadership, because I had stepped in a leadership role and I had no one to train me, no one to teach me how to lead people. I had no idea how to do it. So I was messing up along the way. I didn't know how to build relationships. I didn't know how to hold my staff accountable. Guys, I was messing up every single day. But guess what? We were at the top of our game. We were the unit that scored off the charts when it came to evaluations and so forth. We were always on top. I love that, being on top. But we didn't have any solid relationships. Our team wasn't married. You know, our team wasn't merged. We could have just went off and left each other anytime, you know, and that was a problem to me. And it was my boss who said it to me. He's like, hey, Tessie, you know what? You're a good boss, but you're a terrible leader. I'm looking at him like, how can you be one and not the other? I don't get it. But then he explained to me, he said, you're there for your team. You all are making strides. You're doing some great work. I never have to worry about you or anything about the work getting done. You meet all your deadlines, but you will not hold your staff accountable. So that's a problem. Leaders, we have to hold ourselves as well as others accountable. That is key. And so again, that pitfall I fell into was numbers driven. We're going to look good to the outside world, but on the inside, we weren't marrying at all. We were failing. So that was a pitfall that I fell into, not holding my staff accountable. Another pitfall that we fall into is when we promise too much. You know, we start out because we want to get people on our side and we want to get them to support our businesses and so forth. So we start saying we can do this and we can do that. In reality, you can't. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't deliver it without it causing you some level of stress. So avoid that pitfall. Avoid falling into that, because even if you've already done it, admit it, pull out. Because you're the one that's losing sleep. You're the one that's stressing out. You're the one that's saying like, oh my God, how am I going to make this happen? And I would think, I used to do weddings. And again, because I would sit there and look through all those magazines and see all this amazing stuff, I was like, oh yeah, you're going to have this and you're going to have that. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, what? That costs what? Like, wow. So at the end of every wedding, I'm coming out of my pocket to pay for all this stuff that I promised people. Like, come on, that's not how you run a business. That's not how you run a business. But again, that was a pitfall that I fell into. And I'm sure I'm not the only one out there. At the end of the day, you either want to come in green, you know, where you had something left over, or you recuperated everything that you put in, but you never want to end up in the red. You don't want to do that. But again, that's a pitfall that we all fall into. And we don't want to get there. We don't want that. We want to make sure that we avoid every pitfall that we possibly can. So that, again, that is number 7. Oh, another point about pitfalls is taking sides. Learn not to take sides, guys. You know, let adults work situations out. Oh my goodness, I can't even tell you how many times I was sitting between two adults going back and forth. And I'm sitting there like a deer caught in headlights. Like, what? I can't believe adults scream like this and carry on. But they do. So avoid getting in the middle. Make adults work their situations out. Hey, bye, you better go find a bench under a tree and work it out. Because I know this is not going to keep going on, because either one or both of you are going to be out of here. Don't ever be in bondage to people's confusion. You let them work through their situations. They are adults. And when you get in a position that you feel like you have to fix adult situations, then that's a problem. Only thing I can do is tell you how quickly you can leave my building. You know, as adults, work your issues out. Get through them. Why are we trying to work adult situations out? I don't understand that, but that's for another lesson, okay? So let me get to number 8. Erase that imaginary line called fear and lead. Erase that imaginary line called fear and lead. And I told a group, I was doing a workshop, a vision board workshop, and I said, what we've done as leaders, we've drawn or created this imaginary fence, and that fence is called fear. And I told them, I said, what if I took your most prized possession and I just kicked it over to the other side of fear, the other side of that fence that you've created? What would you do? A couple of people had little comments here and there about what they would do and so forth. I was like, but what are you going to do about that most prized possession I just kicked over this imaginary line, this imaginary fence? Are you going to go get it? Well, a lot of them just looked at me because fear stops us. So here's the thing. If you know that you should be speaking in public, if you know that you should be getting the word out about your business, but you're terrified to do it, so you have a fear of public speaking, okay, now I'm going to take your business, throw it over there, and what are you going to do to get it? Guess what? You're going to learn how to speak. You're going to do the work to learn how to communicate better and get yourself out there so people can hear about your business, so that when you grab hold of it, you have everything you need in order for it to soar, in order for it to thrive. We get to the point that we just allow fear to get in the way, the fear of what people think about us, the fear, this here, what I'm doing, oh my goodness, this is huge. This is huge for me, guys. To get on camera and talk to people this way, this is huge for me. But I made a commitment to myself. I say, you will not be in fear. This is how my mama made me. My daddy had something to do with it. And guess what, guys? We just got to live with it. Guess what? I failed many times. I've hurt people. I've hurt myself. I've done some things that I'm not even proud of talking about. But I'm not going to let it get in the way of what I am purposed to do. I just have to apologize. I just have to start making amends. I have to do whatever I need to do, but I am not going to put my purpose in somebody else's hand and wait for them to give me permission to step out on it. I'm sorry. No, my purpose was given to me from the beginning. When I was created, when God created the heaven and the earth, he had my purpose in mind with what I'm doing here. It doesn't belong to sister so-and-so or brother this and that who is saying negative things about you, or somebody that you may have had a difficult time with. It doesn't belong to them. So guys, whatever you're holding back on, get it. Get it back. Don't let fear get in the way. Tell that imaginary line, start erasing it. Just erase it. See you later. You don't belong here. Get over there and get your stuff. Get over there, because your most prized possession here on this earth is your purpose. That is your most prized possession. Next to the jewelry, next to the children, next to the husband, next to the wife, all that good stuff. I'm telling you, your most prized possession is your purpose, and that purpose is your why. Why did God create you? That is your purpose. He created you for a reason. So once you know that, guess what? Husband lines up, wife lines up, job lines up, money lines up. Everything begins to line up when you start walking in your purpose. So that's your most prized possession. So that little imaginary line, you better get rid of it. Because I'm telling you right now, you're not walking into your purpose. You're not living in purpose. So it's critical for you guys to get to a position that you understand that. Eliminate fear. Get it out of the way. It has no place in your purpose. And then number 9, guys, create leaders, not followers. And, I always, myself that same job that I was talking to you all about, and we were top of the line with numbers, and we were doing some great things, but I wasn't a good supervisor, guys. I didn't know how. I had to try to teach myself and learn myself, and I was very young, and I had quite a few staff that were answering to me. I could teach them how to do the work. I just couldn't teach them how to be a team, and that was a problem. So over the years, I think I was in that position about 5 years, and then it was time for me to grow, because I always believe in going to the next level, growing and so forth. I started my succession plan. And they didn't know that's what I was doing, but I kept telling them, each and every one of them, you're going to be the supervisor over here. You're going to be a supervisor over there. And it was like, nope, 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 never, ever. Never will I be a supervisor. Never, never, never. No, you're going to be a supervisor. Always think growth. Always think growth. Always. And I would tell them, when I left that position, one of my seniors took over my position. Another went on to take over another position. Another one went on to take over another position. My unit there became supervisors over almost the entire District 9, the entire area. And I was like, wow. But guess what, guys? I just let them lead. I'm not saying they did this because of me. I just wouldn't suppress their leadership. Whatever they had to offer, whatever they had to contribute, I allowed them to do it, because it made me a better person too. It made us a better team. So I gave them the authority to lead and direct. I would take vacations. Oh yeah, I would take a week off, or I'll take 2 weeks off. Yes, I would. I wouldn't call. I wouldn't do anything. Why? Because I had leaders in my building. How many of you have leaders in your building and you won't let them lead? How many of you are in a partnership with someone and you're the one that's giving all the answers and making all the decisions and filling out the calendar and doing all of that? How many of you're the only person doing that? What about the other person? They're probably the type of person that's going to sit back and say, okay, go ahead on. If you want to do it all, go right on ahead and do it. But that's not how it should be. We have to create leaders. Allow these leaders to grow in their own leadership, because that's the only way you're going to get 100% out of them, and they're going to get 100% out of you if you allow them to step into their role. And if they're not, then you reevaluate that relationship. Maybe that's just not the relationship you all should be in. It's okay to break relationships, guys. And because that leads me to number 10. After you have done all these things, know that they still may not follow. They may leave. After you have given them all the time in the world, after you have worked hard for them, after you have gave them everything they ask for, after you've done all this stuff, they still may not follow. They will probably still leave. And I had a job where I had a mass exodus. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking, good riddance. I'm glad you're gone. But here was the thing. They left piles of work. So I had to think, what in the world am I going to do? Who's going to do this work? Because although I think succession, they weren't thinking succession. They had got together and planned a mass exodus and left the job. And when I tell you it took some work, oh my goodness, I worked more hours than I ever worked in my life. This was after I made time for them. This was after I gave them everything they asked for. This was after I supported them. This was after I went to court on their behalf. I mean, everything I could think of that I could do to them, financially supported them, motivated them on every level. They still decided that they were going to mass exodus because there was a better opportunity outside of my doors than what I could. I couldn't give them any more money, and somebody promised them more. And so they all jumped on it and took off, and they left. And the type of environment that I was in, that is just a straight no-no. Well, who do you think they punished? They punished me. They was like, you should have been the one that kept them here. You should have been the one that saw this coming. Why didn't you see this? Why did you? And I mean, oh my gosh, I was beat up horribly about them and about my team leaving. And, you know, I had to think about it too. I've left a job to go get some more money. I've done that before, so I didn't punish them. And then I just, in my mind, I was thinking, man, you know, maybe just they don't realize how tough it is, you know, to replace them, you know, or you may, it was just so much stuff going on. Again, I can't even get all into it. But in spite of all my efforts, in spite of everything I did, they still left, guys. But here's the thing. We kept growing. We kept going. It caused me a little frustrations and a lot of stress, but we still existed. We still maintained. Everybody was still okay. You know, although they left. I don't know if they left because they wanted it to fail. I don't know. They never communicated that to me. They just communicated it was way more money than what they were making with me. And so with that, it caused me to get to a position where I was like, wow, not only do I have to think succession, I have to think succession for my direct reports too, because in their mind, they're here, but I got to make sure the person under them is working just as hard and knows everything this person is doing. So if this person leaves, this person can move right up in the position. So I was teaching everybody how to grow. Everybody had to go to the next level. Everybody. I didn't know who was going to stay, who was going. All I knew is that I had to come up with a plan. So understand that no matter what you do, understand that some will not stay. They will leave. Some business deals will fail. So know that and be okay with it. And just be okay with it. Keep moving. When God moves people out of your life, let them go. We like I said, we kept thriving and things continued to go from there. But it was difficult. I'm telling you guys, it was hard. It was very hard. But I had a job to do. So again, I just want to let you know that you can do a lot for people. You can give them everything they want, but it doesn't make them stay. They have to want to be there. And again, once you've communicated and talked to them and got to know them, you've asked them things, you know, like, what do you have need of? How are things going with you? In those little 30-minute sessions, I would ask them. I knew the pay was an issue with my staff, but I didn't have, my supervisor didn't give me the authority to give them any more money. So again, whatever the reasons was, they had their reasons and they moved on. So people will leave you. Just be okay with that. So that was number 10, guys. So what I wanted to do is leave you all with this. You may already be in a position of leadership and things, you stepped into 2019 like, oh, woe is me. I cannot do this another day. I'm so tired. You know, I'm ready to leave this job and so forth, right? You're probably ready, or you're still trying to get your business growing. Like with me, I'm still trying to find my way with my business. Where are we going with this, God? And, you know, I wake up every morning. It's funny, I have with my sisters and my mom at 4:30 a.m. every Monday and every Friday. We're on the phone, Skyping each other, looking at each other, praying, you know, for an hour. We're just praying for our families. We're praying for our businesses, praying for you all, every person I come in contact with. This is just a commitment that I made. And I just ask God to just give me clarity about where this is going. But this is the thing. These are the 3 things that I ask myself and I say to myself as I'm praying, because you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing and you're in the right place. So this is it. It says, what do I need from this job or from this business? Ask yourself that. What do you need from that job, from that business? And just spell it out. What is it that you need? Is it the money? Then say it. When it comes to business, you need more contacts. Say it. You know, I want this business to get me out there. I want this business to open doors for me. I want this business to connect me with the right people. I want this business to bring out everything that's in me that I know is in me. You know, you have to say that. Same thing for that job. Same thing for that team that you're on, whatever. What is it that you need from that? And then said, what does this job or this business need from me? Okay, what does that job or that business needs from you? What does it need from you? Is it your time? Is it your expertise? Is it your commitment? What does it need from you? And are you willing to give that? You know, so ask yourself that. What does it need? What do I need from it? And what does it need from me? Though that's number one. Number two, what do I need? What does it need from me? And the last one, what things do I need to let go of in order to get what I need and to give what's needed? What things do you need to let go to get what you need and give what's needed? So start looking at it. It could be fear. It could be doubt. It could be frustrations. It could be some past deals that went bad and you're feeling some kind of way about it. Just find out what things do you need to let go so you can get what you need from your business or from this job, and then you can give what's needed. What is it? Begin to think about those things. What do I need from this? What does it need from me? And what do I need to let go so I can give what's needed and get what's needed? When you begin to pray according to that, Lord, give me clarity there. Give me clarity with just those 3 questions. Just start there. He'll begin to open your eyes. And you can do this with every situation in your life, relationships, business deals, whatever it is. Just begin to say, Lord, what do I need from this? What does this thing require of me? What does it need from me? What's in the way of me being able to do this? So get clarity with that. And so again, I just want to thank you all for joining me on tonight. Again, I will be coming to you all with L Talk Media twice a month on the 2nd and 4th Monday of each month. And we're going to be talking nothing but leadership. L Talk represents leadership talk. That's all it's about. We just want to talk about leadership. And today it was just all about speaking to new leaders, new business owners, to get you out there, to get you ready to go in your business, to keep you motivated, to keep going. I know it can get tough, guys. I'm living it every single day. I am living it myself, and it does get tough. But I don't get drained. I'm not tired. You know, I just wanted to grow. I just want to keep going. But I remember T.D. Jakes made a comment one time from the pulpit. He said that he used to pray constantly for God to increase his congregation. Give me more. He preached years and years and years in a rickety church, and, you know, with a handful of people and so forth. And he was preaching like he was preaching to millions of people. And he said he would like, Lord, where are the people? Where are the people? And he said, then all of a sudden the people came. And they kept coming, and they're still coming. And he said, and he stood one day at the pulpit and looked out, and the revelation came. He was like, you couldn't handle all of this back then. So respect the timing, guys. Respect the timing that's been placed on our lives, on our businesses, on our leadership. Respect the timing. Because you may not be able to handle all that you want. See, God is going to show you everything. You can see the big picture. You guys, I can go get my vision board and you all be like, okay, Tessie, you can see the arena that I want to sit in front of and I want to talk to the masses and so forth. So I can see it, but he's not going to show me the path to get there. Because then I might say, oh no, you can have this back, God. You can take this back. I don't want it. You know, if I got to go through all that to get that, I don't want it, you know, because fear would step in. So he doesn't show us how we're going to get there. He just shows us what it is that he has for us. And I know many of you who are listening to me today, he showed you a lot of stuff about what he has for you and so forth. So I just want to encourage you all on today is to understand that it's really about taking your leadership to the next level, elevating your leadership impact. And I want to thank you for joining me. Here's the thing, guys, connect with me on our Facebook page. We have the Leadership Haven with leadership strategist Tessie Watts. Like my Facebook page, guys. Then guess what? We have a YouTube page, the Leadership Haven Resource Center. Go over there and hit the button, guys, and subscribe to our YouTube page. We just put it out there, so it's only a handful of us who are subscribing. But guess what? We're posting videos. I'll be posting this segment on today and all the other segments and things that I'm doing. We're posting those. And then you can go on Instagram and connect with me on Instagram. And that is at the Leadership Haven. And then I'm also on LinkedIn, and that's my name, Tessie Watts. So again, guys, I want to thank you for joining me on tonight. I didn't see too many questions as I went through. Too many questions here. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see any questions. Does any of you have any questions that you would like to ask that I can address before we close out? Just let me know. I'll give you all a second to think about, see if you're typing anything. And you'll be able to do this. And also, guys, if you all want to join me and talk about leadership, because remember, we're talking about leadership. So think about a leadership topic, give me a call, and we'll discuss it. Like I said, today I talked to a couple of people who want to join me on Facebook Live. So we're definitely going to try to take this to the next level. So please, please inbox me, send me a message, and let me know. So it looks like we don't have any questions, guys. We're at exactly 7:58. Which means that we were only on for an hour. Thank you for joining me, those who joined and those who will listen to the replay. Thank you all so much, and I will see you guys on the second Monday in February. We'll be back for another topic. Okay, everyone, have a great and amazing night, a great and amazing week, and I will see you guys soon. Have a great one.